Okay, hello, Dr. D here, and we are here. Tomorrow is the day where we release the first presentation on the brain. Thank you so much for hanging in there and the wonderful comments that I received on the first 3 videos so far, little short intros, videos, and of course, this is number 4. So the word for today is going to be, drum roll, neuroplasticity. That's the word, neuroplasticity. And what neuroplasticity is, it is the ability of the brain to continually grow and to continually reorganize itself throughout our entire lives. But of course, the most rapid growth and changes occur in the early years. So I say that to you because this is letting us know we do not have to have this fixed mindset. And we need to make sure that the students know that they can become good at math. They can become good at social studies or whatever it is. That the brain is continually growing as they are learning. And I say that to you as educators is because you need to say those words to those kids. Yes, you're having difficulty right now. It does not mean that you don't have a math brain. It does not mean that you don't have an English brain or a science brain. It just means we need to set goals, obtainable, achievable goals, and aim to reach those goals. Because your brain is always growing. The more you read about it, the more you practice it, the more you see it in multiple representations, the more you're going to get it. And to parents, I say, please, I implore you, please stop telling the kids, oh, you just don't have a math brain. Or I was never good at math. Looks like you're taking after me. Stop saying that. Because then the kids believe that there is a limit on their brain and there's not. I'm sure you're saying it with the best intentions, but stop. Please go to your kid and say, you know what? The brain continually reorganizes itself. It continually grows. The more you learn, the more it grows. The more you practice, the better connections that are made. The more neurons that are created. The more places the brain can pull information from. You got this. You can do it. That's what they have to hear. That classroom environment has to be a warm environment where the kids know they can take risks. And teachers, your instruction needs to be done in multiple representations. That's what UDL is all about, Universal Design for Learning. Multiple representations. And I know there's talk about, are you a kinesthetic learner? Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Like, I hear all of those things. We're all of them. And the more you can provide instruction in these multiple modalities, the better it is for the student to retrieve this information, because that information is placed all over the brain and they connect. That's huge. The connection between these multiple places. And the more they practice and they see them in these different modalities, the better is going to be the retrieval process and the better it gets to long-term memory. That's what we need to be telling our kids. That's how we need to be instructing. So if your instruction is just verbal, no. If your instruction is just worksheets, no. You have to use multiple measures. Here's an example. If you got lost and you asked someone for directions and they told you the directions and you get in your car, you get to the thing and all you remember is the first light, I make a left. And then you don't remember it anymore. There's a few things going on actually. Number one, you only receive the information one way. So it's only in one spot in some remote place of the brain. The second thing is the information exceeded your capacity of remembering. The brain remembers 5 to 7 bits of information. And that does change from when you're a child to when you're an adult. So I'm just going to stick with 5 to 7 bits of information. So when you exceed or instructions exceed that 5 to 7 bits of information and there's no connectivity to any prior knowledge, you're going to forget because the information exceeded what the brain can handle. But there is a way to help extend this, right? So that you can learn more. So as instructors, we always hear about connecting to previous experience, right? Previous knowledge. The reason being is because when we can connect it to previous knowledge, we're not taking up that 5 to 7 bits of information because we can connect it to something else and it becomes this process called chunking. But I want you to think about that EL student. And I'm always going to use Spanish because my doctoral dissertation was for Spanish-speaking ELs. So you're going to have your ELs, you're going to have your special education students, or you're going to have your struggling students. They are consuming, eating away at this 5 to 7 bits of information because they're having a hard time, right? So for the EL person, you're giving them instructions. And remember, it's all contingent upon their level of language acquisition. But they have to take that information, translate it back to Spanish, and then try to apply it to what they're learning. That 5 to 7 bits of information is done. There's nothing left. So that's why you want to be able to offer any kind of scaffolds that you possibly can in that classroom. Let them use a Spanish dictionary. Give them a Spanish-speaking peer who can help them and explain it to them in their language. Now, it can be any language. I always say Spanish automatically, so I apologize to everyone else, but it's for any EL. Have the vocabulary words in English and another language. Have pictures around the room with those words on them. Give them these scaffolds and these supports so that they're not sucking up all of their 5 to 7 bits of information. The same thing goes for a special education student whom it takes longer to process. Maybe they have a processing problem. That's sucking up that 5 to 7 bits of information. Or that struggling student who needs that scaffold. And don't think for 1 second that that kid, general education student or gifted student or honor student, they too have 5 to 7 bits of information. It doesn't change for them. So this is why we need multiple modes of representation. The more ways kids see it, the more places it's stored in the brain, the more pathways to get somewhere. Think of where you live. I'm sure you know the main way and you know the back road way. I live in a town where in the summer, because I'm down by the shore, the parkway is crazy packed. I avoid the parkway like the plague during the summer. But I know other ways to get to other destinations. So I have multiple pathways to get someplace. Because I have multiple pathways, I can get to that place faster because I know other ways. And I can think, okay, I'm not going to go to Parkway. And in my brain's saying, oh, Parkway? Oh, summer? Oh, and all the places where all this information is stored all come together. This wonderful super highway of information. And quickly, I can think of other ways to get there. And the same happens with multiple representations. The more ways you show it, the better it is. Also, just a little fun fact. Did you know that the more you use your brain, the more calories you burn? Maybe that's going to be a new diet fad. What do you think? Think more, do more, read more, play more. That's brain. I'm going to be burning more calories. That's a thought. Anyway, I am so excited. Tomorrow's the day. Neighborhood-science.com for the brain presentation. It'll be on the website. I'll also be sending out a link. I'm so excited. I hope you enjoyed. I look forward to your feedback. Happy sciencing, Dr. D.